Hi guys, welcome to another Thursday edition of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick. I had a whole different video actually all set up to go today, had it all uploaded, and then yesterday they dropped the Record Store Day 2022 list. So I'm going to kind of give you my quick takes on what I think of the list today. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on that link down below. Go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. I know I say it every episode, but it's just a cool place to continue the music conversation. There's also a couple other links down there. There's one for the Vinyl Den merch page where we got these cool Vinyl Den t-shirts on there. And then there's a link for the Vinyl Den Patreon page. If you want to support the show, it's always greatly appreciated. You can support the show for as little as $1 a month. There's a link for the Vinyl Den Spotify and Apple Music playlists also. So every week, Ian and I are kind of going through and picking just some of the music that we're talking about every week and putting it on the playlist there for everyone to check out. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give the old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we release new episodes. So like I said in the beginning, I had a whole different video all planned for today. I really didn't expect the Record Store Day list to come out already. I know there had been some kind of talk that it was going to be dropped on the 16th, but I don't know. I really didn't expect it until later this month or even maybe early next month, just because all the delays that we've seen over the last year and a half. And I know there was a lot of stuff from Record Store Day last year and Record Store Day Black Friday that got pushed back. So I kind of expected them to kind of wait a little bit longer to make sure they had a really solid list before they released it. But I kind of like how they're doing it this year. There's going to be the one Record Store Day, which is going to be April 23rd is Record Store Day. And then there's a date in June, I believe it's the 18th, is going to be like the backup day for Record Store Day. So anything that's getting pushed back from the April date is going to be released in June. So I think it's kind of really cool how they did that, because like I said, there's a couple of things from Record Store Day. It was one of the drops last year that got pushed back to Black Friday, and then come Black Friday, it got pushed back again. They actually announced that some of those titles are going to be released for Record Store Day this year, but then they released them in like the middle of December. So there was, I think there's a lot of people that are really upset about a lot of the delays and things that they were really looking forward to for Record Store Day last year. They got pushed back and then ended up being a little harder to find because they were just kind of released on a random week, after Black Friday. So I kind of like how they're doing it this year. Kind of sets them up maybe for a little bit more success if there is some kind of delays. Hopefully there's not. Hopefully the couple of releases that are set up for June, hopefully that's the only thing we see, and we don't see any big delays for the list this time. So I'm just going to give you my quick take on some of the titles in this. I'm going to kind of go through, I think there's about a dozen or so that I saw that I really kind of piqued my interest. This Sunday, Ian and I are going to do a big deep dive into the Record Store Day list. I think there's 20 or 22, 23 different titles we're going to talk about this weekend. But today I'm kind of give you some of the stuff I'm like most interested in. The first one, I'm a kid that kind of grew up in that late, I kind of got into that late 80s, early 90s kind of hip-hop scene. So Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison, of course, is an album that I'm going to be it's something that's definitely on my must-have list. This is an RSD first. So if you don't know, there's Record Store Day firsts, which are, it is a release for Record Store Day. And then really depending on how sales go, they might release it again later. I'd say it's probably 80-20 that a lot of those releases get reissued, at least within the first year or so. So this is an RSD first. There's going to be 2,000 copies available. So, not a huge run. It's on cherry red vinyl. This is a great album. It was released in 1990. I remember this. I had this on cassette and really kind of wore it out for there for a while when I first had it. So, that's definitely one I'm interested in. The next one, I'm a big fan of Black Pumas. I think their album that came out was at 2020, I think is when their album came out. Absolutely fantastic album. Probably one of my most listened to albums of the last year and a half. So this is kind of interesting what they're doing. They're doing a 7-inch box set, so it's going to be on 6 discs. This is going to be an RSD exclusive, so you're not going to see this thing get reissued again. But there's 4,500 copies available, so it's not super limited either. This is one that I think really kind of depends on the price for me. Like I said, I am a big fan of this album, but I'm kind of lazy when it comes to 7-inch albums. I tend to not have to flip the album after every song. So I do have a couple of other albums that are on 7-inch box sets, and like I said, I don't really play them enough to really kind of warrant having them, I guess. But this is one that really, I think really comes down to the price for me. So I was recently out at the record store with my wife, and she was a little shocked that I had no Mariah Carey in my record collection. So record store day, I should be able to, hopefully be able to rectify that. They're releasing Mariah Carey's number ones. This is an RSD exclusive. There's a little over 7,000 copies going to be available, so it's not going to be super limited. This is her first 13 chart-topping singles. This was released in 1998. I know they said there's 4 bonus tracks included in there. So, it's what 17 tracks, I guess, that are going to be on this. So definitely one I'm looking forward to. But with a lot of these releases, I think it really depends on price. If it's super expensive, I'll probably pass on it. But it's definitely one I'll keep my eye on. Another one is one that I was really kind of surprised is getting a record store day release. It's an album that probably isn't the most popular, but if you are a Childish Gambino fan, it's one you've been looking for a long time. I actually have this a bootleg version of this album. I believe it's Kauai, I think is how you say that, but it's an album it's an EP that he released back in 2014, and like I said, it's never been available on vinyl. I got a bootleg probably maybe 2.5 years ago, and it sounds really good for what it is. I'm not sure sound quality. This will probably, since it is an official release, I expect this one to sound a lot better. But this is going to be an RSD first, and there's going to be an absolute ton of these available. They're releasing 18,000 copies of this album, so it should be pretty easy to find. This, like I said, is originally released in 2014. The cool thing is about the Childish Gambino release, it's on 3 different. There's 3 color variants, and they're going to be randomly distributed out. So you're not going to know what color you get until you open it up and check it out. So I'm really interested in that one. It's definitely one that that's one that's on my must-have list for sure. Another one that's on my absolute must-have list. This is Everlast, Whitey Ford Sings the Blues. Originally released in 1998. I've been a huge fan of this album for a very long time, and one that I've wanted to have on vinyl. But it's generally well over $100 for it, and man, I really kind of hate paying those really high prices on the resale market. I think it kind of hurts it hurts vinyl collecting overall, I think, in the long run. So I've kind of held off on buying it. So this is going to be an RSD first, but it's going to be a little bit more limited than some of the other releases. It's going to be 2,500 copies. This is one that I can pretty much guarantee is going to be reissued down the line, because I expect this to go pretty quick. A lot of these, I will say that a lot of like the 90s hip hop albums tend to sell for a little bit more money than, they kind of go for generally I'd say $10 to $15 more than other releases. So I expect this one to be a little pricey, but considering what what these go for on the resale market, for me, I think it's definitely going to be worth it. Another one that I'm interested in is Joan Jett Acoustics. This is an RSD exclusive. There's going to be 6,500 copies that is available. So, not super limited. This is a first ever acoustic album for Joan Jett. There's 8 tracks on it. Joan Jett's one of those artists where, I love a lot of her hits. I never really got into a lot of her albums, though. So I think this is going to be a cool one to grab. I'd love to get a Joan Jett greatest hits collection also, but this one is like an acoustic version of her greatest hits. So I think it's definitely a cool one to check out. Of course, it's going to be depending on price. So if you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of that 90s punk scene. Primarily like the mid-90s to, the mid-ish 90s to the early 2000s. Just a bunch of great music was recorded. So for Record Store Day, I'm generally not a big fan of compilation albums, but there's one that I saw that I definitely have to have. And it's called Go Ahead Punk, Make My Day. It's an RSD first. There's going to be 5,000 copies of it available. This was actually originally released in 1996 from Nitro Records. There's 10 tracks from some of the biggest names in that like early 90s West Coast punk scene. So first time on vinyl. It is on a orange splatter. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen here. It looks pretty sweet. It's definitely one I'm looking forward to. Now, one that I'm kind of surprised on, and I've seen a lot of people talking about this over the last 24 hours on social media, and that is Discipline Breakdown by Collective Soul. It's a RSD first. There's 5,000 copies of it available. This is originally released in 1997, so it's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, and it's on translucent red vinyl. But the interesting thing is Collector Soul, they had a couple of big albums, but I don't remember Discipline Breakdown being a really big hit. So that's why I was really surprised that so many people were really interested in it. I think this one might be one of like the big sellers for Record Store Day this year. But like I said, it is an RSD first, so I'm pretty sure they probably will get reissued down the line if you're not able to grab a copy. The next one is an album that I don't think I've ever seen this done for Record Store Day before. So this is Red Hot Chili Peppers' Unlimited Love. This is Red Hot Chili Peppers' new album, which is coming out here pretty soon. I don't know if it's being dropped on the same day as Record Store Day or not, but they're doing an RSD exclusive of their new album, which I think is kind of cool. There's going to be 5,000 copies of it available. It's on two silver LPs. So I think there's a couple of different color variants out there. So, if I'm not able to grab it on Record Store Day, I'll probably maybe just grab the black copy. But, I think it's kind of cool that they're doing that. Something that is new that's being released, but they're doing a separate one as an RSD exclusive. So, kind of cool. Maybe we'll see some more stuff happen like that down the road. The next one is an album that I'm probably up in the air. I'm up in the air on, just because some of the other releases, some of their RSD releases have kind of been a little pricey. But this is The Doors' LA Woman Sessions. So I know they've done this for a couple years ago. They did the Soft Parade Stripped, where they stripped all the horns and strings out of the Soft Parade. And, it was a really good release. I've only listened to it a couple of times maybe. And then I think it was last year they did the Morrison Hotel Sessions, which is probably my favorite Doors album. So it's kind of cool to listen to the demos and kind of, outtakes from that album. But, it was a little bit more than I was really wanting to pay for a Record Store Day release. So I think it really depends on what the LA Woman Sessions run. But anyway, this is an RSD exclusive. There's going to be a bunch of these available. It's going to be 11,000 copies. It's a 4 LP set with 2.5 hours of extra tracks. So there's just a ton of stuff on there. This was all from the 50th anniversary box set that I believe came out last year. Was it? I'm sorry. It was last year that came out. So, definitely one that I'll kind of check out and see what the price looks like on that one. The next one is actually an album that I've actually been looking for in the stores lately, because someone posted it on the Vinyl Den Facebook group a while back, and I realized I didn't actually have a copy of this. But this is Stevie Nicks' Belladonna. This is going to be an RSD exclusive. There's a ton of these going to be available. There's 15,000 copies. So this is a 2 LP set, and this is from the 2016 deluxe edition that they did. So it's a 2 LP set. It's the standard remastered album. And then there's a second album of outtakes, B-sides, and demos. So that's really cool. I'm glad I held off on buying that Belladonna release, just because I'll be able to grab it on Record Store Day and have those extra tracks. The last one is an album that, as soon as I saw it on the list, it was my absolute number one have-to-have album. And this is coming out June 18th. And that is the Prince Gold Experience. It's an RSD first. 24,000 copies going to be available. It was originally released in 1995. It's a fantastic album. Probably in my top 5 Prince albums overall. It's going to be on translucent gold vinyl, 2 LPs. And the interesting thing is I don't think this has ever been reissued since 1995, because there's a track on there called The Most Beautiful Girl in the World that's been in. There's been some kind of a legal battle going on for the last probably 2 decades over the rights to that track. So the Prince family and Prince wasn't able to reissue this album until now. So they must have got it settled. I haven't seen anything in the news about it, though, which I'm sure that's not going to be huge news. But even some of the news channels I check out that talk about some, lesser known kind of music information, I haven't seen anything about that on there either. So, definitely what I'm looking forward to. Overall, I think it's going to be a fantastic Record Store Day, both for the April date and the June date. I know it's been kind of up and down on social media. Some people either absolutely love it or are really kind of down on it. So it seems like Ian and I will get into it on Sunday, because I think we're kind of, one of us is on each side of it. I'm really excited for Record Store Day, and I think there's only a couple of things that Ian was really interested in. So we'll kind of get into a little bit more of that on Sunday. But overall, I think it's going to be a fantastic, fantastic day. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Hopefully I didn't go through those too fast. Ian and I are going to do a deeper dive on Sunday and kind of go over these and some other albums a little bit more in depth. So make sure you come back and check that out. But drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this RSD list. If you're interested in anything, like I said, because it's been kind of mixed reviews online so far. Even though I've seen a lot of people that really love it, I think there's probably been an equal number of people that are pretty disappointed in this list. Like I said, personally, there's a couple of albums on here I've been waiting for a long time to get reissued, so I'm pretty excited to check this list out this year, or check out Record Store Day this year. I'll probably be out there pretty early, but anyway, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and like I said, come back and check out the show on Sunday. Well, that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.